Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Damien Oliver and today we are going to be working on our FTB Infinity Evolved Skyblock mode. Today we're going to be working with some components, mainly trying to get a metal former. And the metal former itself isn't hard to get, we just need to get a few basic tools before we get started. The first one we needed was the iron chipset, and that took the laser assembly behind us you see now. Oops. I swear one day I'll get that right. As you can see, I put a couple of things in there, and our engine and survival generator have been working constantly for about 20-30 minutes or so, possibly longer, to give us these 5 so far. It got a good portion on the 6th one, but no, honestly, I'm not sure if it's going to complete it before 2 of them run out of power. I am glad to see that the steam engine is not using nearly as much water as I thought it would be, but that's just, personal observation. Either way, the steam engine is now producing 16 RF per pump, by my understanding. In fact, if I take a look here, it'll show me that it is actually producing receiving 21 RF per tick. But that's because the engine is at maximum heat right now. It literally can't produce steam any faster than it is. And it's creating quite a backup of power too, which I believe means that once the heat runs out, it will continue, once the fuel runs out, it will continue pumping as long as it can, because it has all this temperature in it, and tries to lose that RF too. I'm not positive. I think if the RF or if the temperature runs out before the RF does, I think the RF gets wasted. That's something I'm going to have to observe a little bit more to find out for sure. But as I said, we're going to need to get started on a few basic things to get going with the metal former. First and foremost, we're going to want to get a tree tap, which is a pretty basic tool in industrial craft. It basically allows us to go to rubber trees and get the sap out of them. And the reason we need that is for the circuit board. It requires not only cable, but a cable of rubber on it. So we'll need at least 6 of those. And you'll see I've already gotten 3. That's because I started growing a rubber tree and cut it down a couple of times. And apparently you get a random chance of getting rubber from just breaking rubber logs. You can also get rubber from the tree tap. The tree tap that I'm trying to use now. As you saw, you can get it from some bees. I thought there was another way of getting it. I believe there's a way that you can cut logs, like a sawmill or something, and get some rubber from that too. And eventually we're going to want to get an extractor to help that process out too. But basically you just go to the tree tap, right click on the orange spots, and it pops out rubber. I believe you can tap a block that has rubber more than one time. However, doing so has a chance of destroying any chance of further rubber from it happening. Blech. I swear I can't English. You have also noticed I've probably extended the area out right now, and all the red lines are basically showing the trunk boundaries. So I basically extended this way and I've extended this way, and I've extended this way, and I extended out that way to fill into the trunk boundary so far. I think I'm going to extend out this way as well, because I already have that area claimed. And I might just set up like a mob farm here or something like that. it was mainly to give me more room for the trees, and I thought I was going to put in another row of trees, but I do have limited space here, and ideally, if I wanted to do that, I would either have to go past the chunk boundary, which there's nothing saying I can't, but I'm trying to, you know, save the server as much space as possible, or I would have to move the trees a couple blocks this way, which again, there's nothing saying I can't. Just been mainly too lazy. Getting sidetracked, getting back down to what we need to do, which was not that. The other thing we need for the metal former is wires, and for that we need a cutter. Now the cutter is just a couple of iron plates, which I've already shown you how to do, and a little bit of extra iron. I just happen to have some iron plates with me with some extra iron. Fancy that. I also happen to have a lot of copper and a lot of iron with me. Wonder why that might be. But before that, the rubber we need does need to be cooked, so we'll get started on that process while we start forming the rubber, or the metal parts. And I know the first thing, or the center thing we need is the iron chip and a whole bunch of iron plates. About 62, if memory serves. And that's going to be, or sorry, 8 plates, which is about 16 iron. I don't know where I got 32 from. Sorry about that. But the main idea is we're going to be building this metal former to replace our forge hammer, which, as you can see, is losing durability fast. So we'll grab these and our iron chip set, and there we go. We got the basic machine frame. Now the other things we're going to need is we're going to need the copper wires, which take plates. Let's see here. We're going. Each plate makes 2 wires, so we need 3, and 4 times 3, so 12. So 17 wires there. Yeah, we need 17 wires. Which is a lot of copper. Like, a lot of copper. And a little bit more iron. We only need 3 of these. I think I miscounted my wires, but I'm sure we'll use them later. Looks like our rubber is done. I only need 6 of you, thank you. There we go. So we got our coils, we got our basic machine casing. For that we just need, I think it was another iron plate. There we go. I forgot the redstone. Oh, that's right. I took all the redstone I had on me and made it into pipes and put a little bit more into the laser assembly. That's fine. I think we only need the 2 for now. There we go. And finally we need the toolbox, which is the chest and these item castings. Each item casting is a bronze plate, so we need 5 castings per toolbox, so we need 10 castings. Can you see why this might be getting a little expensive right now? Oh yeah, I forgot, the game does also have various versions of shears and the like, so you don't necessarily have to use iron for that. You got bronze and bar electrum. Some of them have more durability. The mana steel and the electrum, I think, actually has special abilities, so you'd have to get into those to find out for sure. The dark shears can be upgraded. Yeah, several different options. Then I think I just do that. There we go. Yeah, you see our forge hammer is really taking a hit here. Why is that not working? Those are bronze, that's why. That's not a good sign because that's going to run us slow on our hammer. Drat. The other downside is I don't think there's any way to change those or melt them back into copper, which is a bit unfortunate. Okay, YouTube, I'm going to... actually, I should have some bronze already. Bronze. That's too much. There we go. I was kind of hoping to avoid this, because in making the plates, it's going to nearly destroy my hammer, so it's not going to have enough left to make all the casings. That means I'm going to have to make another hammer, which isn't the end of the world. Oh, there's some more bronze right there, go figure. Making another hammer is not the end of the world, but it does mean that I probably won't be using this hammer for ever again. It's going to basically just take up an inventory slot. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Can that be used for anything else? No, I'm just making plates. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Coils. And there we go. Now, how are we going to go about doing this? I think... No, it will not take RF directly. Problem is, I think unless I have the proper wrench, there's a good chance I could destroy a good portion of what we just did. So instead, I'm going to try this. No guarantees it will work, but I'm going to try it anyway. No, did not work. Okay. Okay, well, there is another option that I was kind of prepared to do. I just kind of hoping I didn't have to. That is to go with immersive engineering. Now, to be fair, we're going to go into this eventually anyway, but, you know, needing to do it now and needing to do it later are two different things. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of clay on me. I do got a bit of sand though, so it won't take too long to break it down. And this is why having barrels is always nice. That one does not have enough in it. Go figure. why it wouldn't. We just had a rainstorm not too long ago. Yeah, well. But yeah, there are a couple things that can convert the power of the different machines over to other machines. In this case, I think we're going to convert the power of the from the pipes using immersive engineering to change it to EU. Which, by the way, I just heard an announcement from Direwolf 20. Apparently, the new version of Industrial Craft for 1.8 will not require EU. It will switch over to RF, which is fantastic, but unfortunately that's in the wrong version of Minecraft. Okay, so if I'm right, yes, that connects, that's good. Then we connect one here, and LV, we need to get some LV coil, which is just more copper around the stick, well, a treated stick. It's really not a bad recipe considering you get two of them, but you do go. But I think we will be using a lot of this since, you know, sorry, I just had a brain fart. We probably will be using a lot of connection coils since pipes don't seem to connect to everything. Meanwhile, these should, and they do transform power. Problem is right now there's nothing giving off power. As a note, I want to say I'm running out of coal coke, but my supply is dwindling. I still haven't emptied this out, which is something I really should do. I think the power is getting sucked up by the lasers first, which is unfortunate but hardly surprising. A little bit of cocoa should help the process. In fact, it probably is going to do a little bit too much, actually. But that's fine. We'll just turn the laser table back on at that point. Okay, so this is going to take a couple of moments. Let's wait. I'm going to wait for the lasers to come back, and I'll just cut you guys straight to that point, and then we can see if it's actually charging the metal former or not. Okay, welcome back, folks. As you can see, this little icon here is filling up. That means it is in fact being charged. It just looks like the lasers come first, and they are massive energy hogs when given a target. So that does make a certain amount of sense. But the nice thing about these is, like if I take a look at iron plates, iron plates have quite a lot of usages, actually, especially in this pack. I mean, you need them for all your armor. You need them for your tools, your cauldrons, yeah, your inventories. You need them for a lot. And with the hammer we currently have, not only is the hammer less than cheap, really, it's inefficient. If I put all my iron back, though, and take out, say, a stack. Actually, let's do a half a stack for now. You can see how, oops, let's do that in rolling mode. 32, 31. It's now only taking one iron to make a plate, which is at least twice the efficiency of the hammer. And ideally, we shouldn't have to replace this one. So that's something. Now we'll kind of let this continue going on here for a bit, either until the generators run out of power or until this runs out. But I think it's time we start looking at other options, because right now the kinesis pipes, while great for transferring RF and, well, transferring power to the lasers, they aren't very good at storing power. They have no battery system. Oh, speaking of storing power, I'm actually going to grab these real quick and yeah, I need a block of iron in extruding mode. Keep in mind this has 3 different modes. I think in most cases cutting and the hammer mode are the same thing. There are a few distinct differences, but extruding mode makes the wires more efficiently. It's the only way, also the only way to get shafts, which we need for our next power source, really. Actually, we're going to need a couple of those shafts, so let me grab... Let's grab about 5 more. Okay. Right. Extruding mode. This is actually a good test to see how that engine works, because it's just about to run out of steam. It's run out of temperature, it's run out of fuel here. What happens to the extra 25,000 RF? Okay, so it keeps on going. I'm guessing the lack of steam, though, just prevents it from gaining any more RF. Okay, so that's good to know. And is our... yeah, that's still providing a little bit of power. So while the engine is not... it's just kind of bleeding power right now, the survivalist is still producing. I'm guessing they'll have a good start. But we should take a look into other means of containing power. We run a search for RF. That contains anything that has RF in the name, including if it stores RF and how much. Unfortunately, it also contains things that may not have anything to do with RF, just happen to have RF in the name somewhere. But let's take a look here. We have the capacitor banks, which are pretty high-end, really. We do have the LV capacitors, which, yeah, we can do that. That will hold 100,000, which seems like a lot, but I think our survivalist generator holds that much. So that's not a huge amount. They could do the MV one. That holds 10,000. I think at some point we're probably going to need a bat box one way or the other, because RF doesn't translate to EU directly. So we could have a bat box just transfer power to all the industrial crafted items. Thermal expansion also has a form of battery, but I can't seem to find the dang things. Oh, that's why the RF is hidden. Okay. So, a leadstone energy cell can hold 400,000 RF. That means the lowest version holds just as much, well, 4 times that of the immersive engineering one. It is a little bit more complicated to make, though. Still nothing we can't handle. Mainly getting the tubes and another coil, which means we'll need some more rubber. Not a big deal. And yeah, even the redstone energy block itself isn't too bad. So we're going to need more rubber, we're going to need a bit of lead, and some glass. I'll be back with you once I got everything set up here. Although before you go, I suppose I should show you, or kind of remind people how to use the fabricator. It is real easy. We're going to need 5 of these. Just replace. And yeah, that's going to cause an issue there. For the time being, we'll just do this real quick. Not an ideal situation, but it works. Add a little bit of sand. Just in case you need to hide any eye for whatever reason. For example, you can't read these. You can just hit 0. Looks like we're actually having problems trying to maintain the heat necessary to get to this one, which is interesting, but whatever, because we only needed it to do the job once. Once the job's done, we can collect the stuff and it's done. Okay. I'm going to put those back in there just so the power has some place to go. Not that there's a whole lot of power left to give out, but it's something. So, yeah, we have the electron tubes. Everything else you saw shouldn't be that hard. I just need some time to get everything gathered. So, I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, welcome back, YouTube. I think I got everything ready here. What we have here is leadstone energy frame. The frame itself is the basic component in all of these capacitors, or energy cells, excuse me. And they're actually basic components in a lot of other things too, but mainly items that store or transfer power. But it's just redstone with some lead. I kind of wish I had the lead from thermal expansion, which is this kind of blue purplish ones. But unfortunately, all I seem to be getting out of the X and the Hilo is the industrial craft lead. I don't know, maybe we'll find a way around that later. But we just grabbed the energy frame, and then we got the electronic circuit, which I showed you earlier. 2 cells, or 2 tubes, excuse me. And I'll just stick the other ones in there for now. I might make this another one later. Some more lead, and what was the other one? Oh, I knew I forgot something. Okay, take all that back. And grab a gold real quick. I do really need to set up this work area a little bit better. Getting there though. This is real simple, just gold, redstone, same thing as normal thermal expansion. Put everything back now. Why did it not like that? Tin, lead, redstone. Oh, that's why. I hate how those names are so similar, or those colors and everything. For this, we need a small bit of electrum, which is real easy, just gold and silver inside the smeltery. Dum 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 dum. And once you have the bar out of the smelter, it's basically the same process, just electrum instead of gold. put everything back again. Sorry. And there we go. Ta-da! Okay, so we have our first official power battery, which will be useful for storing power for later. Because now that we have this, not only can we throttle the power to the lasers, we can also store up the power so we don't need to burn our fuel and possibly waste some. Now, I should point out that with the redstone energy cell, we can throttle the power to the lasers, but right now we really aren't producing a whole lot of power that needs to be throttled. Or rather, that could fit within any throttleable gate anyways. That's kind of what the shafts are for. The shafts that we made earlier are going to be going towards making our next big power supply. This one, thankfully, will actually be a decent power supply. But unfortunately, I think we're going to have to call it a day from now because we ran out of time. Next time, we'll try setting up our water mills, finally, and that will provide us with a great deal more power. You see here that I get what's called a gated trapdoor, which is kind of a trapdoor slash ladder system. And I have this basement area here, which is hopefully going to fit underneath all of here. Oh, correction, there is no hopefully about it. It will fit underneath here. And I think this will be our power area. Maybe our logistics system, once we have one, will go down here too. Basically something to kind of help clean up the mess upstairs right now. And once we have more power, using the lasers and anything else for that matter becomes much easier. But that should do it for now. Again, my name is Damien Oliver. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you have any hints or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, feel free to message me both here on YouTube and on Twitch, and I'll see what I can do to get back to you as soon as humanly possible. In the meantime, have fun.